Mystics, goths, and flower children alike, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anitra. How you doing today? Today I'm going to turn some old eyeshadows into watercolor. Since about 8th grade, I've had a small collection of eyeshadow palettes. I have way more, but these are the oldest ones. Also, I did see a bunch of other people turning eyeshadows into watercolor, and I really wanted to try it out. So one of these palettes will be the subject of today's video. Let's get started. The palette for today's video is going to be this Black Heart Interstellar eyeshadow collection that I got from Hot Topic many years ago. I love the colors in this one. They're very sparkly, but they're also galaxy colors, which are very beautiful. Also, I'm going to be using this watercolor binder from Dos Sketches. I'm sorry if I messed up the name. They were one of the inspirations for this video, and I bought this from their Etsy shop. So for anyone who is not familiar with the process, I will be going through this process with you guys while also talking about the shades. This first eyeshadow I'm using today is called Black Hole. First I have to scrape out the shadow from the container by using my X-Acto knife.
You can have this feeling anytime you choose.
Now I'm going to use my palette knife and X-Acto knife as well to chop up the big pieces into a powdery consistency. Doing this does help the watercolor binder soak into the pigment and makes it easy to spread out later when we use the muller. Now I'm applying the watercolor binder into the pigment and mushing it around with my palette knife just to get the activation process started. Now here I am using a glass muller to make a sort of paste consistency out of the pigment and binder mixture. Once the mixture is smooth enough, I can put it back into the container and let it dry out over a period of 24 to 48 hours. Also, I'm doing this on a glass slab, not on my desk. All of the materials that I am using in this video will be in the description down below. Alright, the next color in this collection that I am using is called Universe, which is a very pretty blue color. In the corner is a swatch of what it looks like before adding the watercolor binder. It's hard to see right now, but what I really like about this color is that even though it is sparkly, it has more of a kind of dual chrome, multi-chrome thing where in some lights it looks one way and then it has an extra shine in a different lighting, or when you angle it. It looks really cool. Next up is this burgundy kind of color named Eclipse. Also, if you're wondering why I'm not actually going in the direct order of shadows, it is because I was worried about the sides of each little section becoming wet and collapse because this is a cardboard eyeshadow container. Now I'm working on the shade Nebula. This is one of my favorite shades in this palette. I, for some reason, don't have a picture of the swatch for this one, but this is one of my favorites. Next up is the shade Cosmic. And I will say real quick, I do really like the names of these. It's just some of them are a little interesting to me. You'll see that later on in the video. I'll talk about that. At this point, I had just fully, understood that, of course, I didn't know what I was doing, but I really did not know how to make a consistent flow of watercolor binder with pigment. I know it's supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio, but sometimes you have to eyeball that, and I'm not very good with that. So if anyone has any tips or tricks on how to make this an easier process, please let me know down in the comments below, please. It'd be a great help. The shade that I'm starting to work on right here is called Moon, and it is a cooler gray color. This next shade is one of the ones that I said where I don't think the name really matches. This shade is called Earth, and I think it's kind of weird because it looks more like ash to me. If it was like slightly more green, then that would make a little bit more sense, or like maybe, I don't know. But anything else would be better, but I guess, can't really do anything about it now. Here is the shade Star, which is a kind of warm gray color, which again, I don't think the name and the shade match, but that's just me. I will say though that this gray is a very good counterpart to Moon, which I think is really cool. The next shade is a cool purple tone named Milky Way, which is a great counterpart to Nebula, which is a warm purple tone. I do like the color story of this palette. They really put a lot of thought into it, and honestly, it wasn't a very expensive palette when I bought it. So the fact that they thought about counterparts for if you wanted a warmer galaxy versus a cooler galaxy is really awesome to me. Another one of my favorite shades in this palette is this one called Moon Dust. It's a really pretty rose gold shade, and I just love how it shines. Also, in my opinion, this shade has the best name in the entire palette. Alright, we're getting close to the end of the shades, and this one that I'm working on now is called Asteroid. It is my favorite blue in this entire palette, and I just really like it. But yeah. For the last shadow is a very sparkly white shade named Sun. This is also one of my favorites. It's a great inner corner shadow. Real quick, this is gonna sound goofy, but don't these kind of look like grits? Just me? Okay, moving on. So here are all of the watercolors in the container and fully dry, and now they're ready for painting. Look at me in the mirror. Also, if you're wondering why the shade Star kind of looks a little different, it's because when I was testing them to see if they were dry, I stuck my finger in it by accident. So, yeah, that happened. Anyway, on to the painting. Now I'm doing some swatching all the way from black hole to sun. So let's do this. Also for this piece, I'm going to be using watercolors that I've already made using blush and highlighter that I made in my latest short. So check that out. Now on to the painting. Here's the sketch that I made for this piece, which I had already posted on my Instagram if you want to go check that out. But yeah, I wanted to do a witch, and of course it's November, but who says witches have to just be for October, you know? I started by working on the witch character in the middle. I wanted to get her skin tone and everything all flushed out before working on the background. Also, for each different section, like the skin, the clothes, the hat, I will put what color I am using in the bottom left corner. Now I am working on the background, starting with the moon first. It was right around here when I had decided that this piece was going to need more than one coat to make it as opaque as I wanted it to be. These watercolors are very, very sheer and just more glittery, so I was going to need at least a second round and maybe even a third round of paint to make this pop off the page. It is the next day and I'm going to do a second pass of watercolor over the entire piece, but this time instead of starting with the witch, I am starting with the moon. Now right here you can see that these colors are starting to get a lot more bright, a lot more pigmented. I am going to go over them just one more time after this, but now they are actually starting to become the galaxy night sky that I want, and they're starting to really, again, like I said, pop off the page. So that's awesome for me. Okay, we are almost done with this piece. Now I am using my white Posca pen to add some stars to the background and after the painting has completely dried. Now let's take off the tape from the edges. So here's some really nice, peeling footage for you guys. And with my signature at the bottom, this piece is finally finished. Tell me what you think about her in the comments. And that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed the painting. I had a really fun time. I like how this turned out. And with that being said, have a good rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, or night, wherever you are on this wondrous globe. Eat some good food, drink some good drink, get some good sleep, and listen to some good music. Yeah. Know that there are people on this planet who love you, and I am one of them because I do too. And to all my mystics, goths, and flower children alike, that's going to be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Love you. See you later. Peace.